剣術を習得することは楽な道ではない。ヘイプ、ヤー、ヘイプ、ヤー、ヘイプ、ヤー、ヘイプ。
The second cog of the wheel in the Miyamoto motor is how to position your sword to a different direction, thus setting up, casting out, and hitting those sections. Up until now, you've been casting out in the air without that much direction or a focal point. It is now time to talk about these focal points. That without a true focal point or north arrow or place where you can zero in on, it'll be difficult to be consistent, especially when you begin your turns from one to the other. Most all sword training in this modern world are done in the confines of a building or room. Therefore, let's use that room as your focal point. First, I want you to notice there are 4 walls. I want you to find the wall that you like best while you're standing in the middle of the room. At that wall, I'd like you to press a post-it, a piece of tape, or something that will show where you need to look and focus on. Usually have it about your head level, your mouth, your nose, your eye level, and paste it up there in front. So now whatever you do, you can always turn back, find that focal point, and use it as your ground zero. To begin these turns correctly, setting up smoothly, and casting out efficiently, it is wise to look at your next 2 focal points. They are straight ahead in your north arrow, but if you look at your wall, you immediately see to the left of you and to the right of you will be the corners of the wall. Those are your next focal points. Look at those. Make sure that when you start turning onto your focal point, that you're set up to them dead center. Your dead center cut in front, turning your body, setting it up, executing a cut to your next focal point in the corner, and adjusting your body like this and casting out to the opposite corner. These corners are very important because they allow you to cut in a very straight vertical fashion. Just follow the corner line all the way down from the top of the ceiling all the way down to the floor. Over time, you'll see that your cuts will become smoother and more vertical. A lot of the times when we cast out with the sword above our head, but by the time it gets to the target, for some reason, it's moved to the left, it's moved to the right, and it becomes very wobbly by the time it gets down to the end of the cut. Make sure that you're set up and execute that cut, set up to the other side, and execute that cut back and forth until your muscle memory sets in. A lot of the time we end up looking downward when we do a lot of technique. It's the way we are. I call it fighting midgets. It works well because you're trying to see your body and adjust it to what you see, mainly by looking at the tip of the sword or at your feet. If your eyes are looking downward, your technique will also go downward. Make sure that your eyes are always at eye level and focusing on your post-it or focal point that you have placed on your wall. What is the most efficient way to get the sword to the target without telegraphing? For example, if you're turning counterclockwise or my counterclockwise to the left, my left hand is the lead hand. If I'm turning clockwise, the opposite hand or my right hand is the lead hand. Therefore, depending on which direction you are turning, make sure that that lead hand is pulling the sword over your head in place, instead of the following hand pushing the sword over. This is a very important factor because a lot of times you're set up over here, but your sword hasn't got to the target. Vice versa. If I turn over here and I come around following the lead hand, the sword's already set up and I might not even need my right hand. So it is better to pull the sword into place at this time in your training instead of trying to push it in. How is your stance now? Are you standing taller? Is your stance tight? Are you able now to turn more on a dime than a 50-cent piece? If you're not feeling it, continue to practice, because the more practice you put in, the better you'll be at your transitioning for the Miyamoto motor. Are you still casting vertically? Look at your sword coming down. If you're coming down at slight angles, readjust your hands, your grip, and of course your stance, setting up to better positioning. Therefore, when you cut down and follow the two corners from your right back to your left, you'll start having the feeling of, this is becoming a little smoother. If it isn't, continue to practice, but making sure that your back is straight, you're not fighting midgets, your eyes are ahead.
剣術を習得することは楽な道ではない。